I'm Ken Zesterson. I'm the planning board chairman of the town of Ulysses, and I'm been involved in this struggle for a few years. My question for Andrew Cuomo is simply this: at this point, the watersheds of Syracuse and New York City have apparently been spared this menace of hydro-fracking. The people in the middle, that would be people in the Finger Lakes, where we're talking right now and where he is talking right now, are apparently in the bullseye. And if this practice is too dangerous to be done in the watersheds of Syracuse and New York City, well, isn't it too dangerous to be done in the Finger Lakes as well? There is no possible way to do hydro-fracking safely. All the evidence, and most of it's anecdotal so far, has shown that. You can't do it safely. So the question shouldn't be, how can we do it safely? The question should be, how can we consider doing this at all? How can we consider sacrificing our air, our water, our environment, our economies, our lifestyles at the altar of a few years of gains from natural gas? I can't believe that Andrew Cuomo, who is a very experienced and smart guy, is going to let that happen. And my question for him would be, what can you do about this?
My name is Don Barber, Supervisor for the Town of Caroline. I'm also Chairman of the Tompkins County Council of Governments. And we are dealing with the potential for natural gas in our community. And as a town supervisor and a local government official, I want to know how we are going to be able to manage our land whenever gas companies have the ability to come in and site wells wherever they would like, that they have a lease. And I'd also like to know how we're going to protect our water whenever we have 27,000 gallons of highly toxic and carcinogenic chemicals coming into our communities when that's never happened in the past.
My name is Jonathan Culler. I'm a 33-year resident of Ithaca, and I'm very concerned about the threat to both our natural landscape and our natural resources, especially the drinking water posed by hydraulic fracking. So what I would want to ask Andrew Cuomo is how he proposes to protect our water supplies in particular. He's taken a stand against, I believe, against drilling in the watershed that serves New York City, but we think that we in Ithaca and in the surrounding counties deserve just as much protection as the residents of the Big Apple. So that's my question: how and Mr. Cuomo, would you protect us against the effects of hydro-fracking?
I'm Judy Pierpont. I have read that Attorney General Cuomo, candidate Cuomo, has said that he would consider, or that he would allow gas drilling with hydrofracturing in New York if it is safe. Only if it's safe. And from what we've seen, it's not possible to do it safely anywhere in this country. Everywhere where hydrofracking has been done, water has been contaminated. Air pollution goes with it. It's completely unsafe in terms of air pollution. Diesel fumes, trucks running up and down the roads, all-night lights. None of this is conducive to an economic life or the kind of life that we would want to tolerate.
My name is Susan Titus. I live in Ithaca, New York. I own a home and a business, and my home will be threatened by hydrofracking on one of these beautiful farm fields, just a quarter of a mile uphill from my house. And only 6.5% of adults have signed leases, but it's 50% of our environment. And if you've seen the movie Gasland, or if you've gone down to Pennsylvania where they're drilling, how can you do this to us? That's my question.
My name is Roger Hecht. I live in Danby, New York, south of Ithaca. And the question I have for Governor Cuomo is what is he going to do to protect rural water sources? We know that the big cities you're interested in protecting their water, and of course lots of votes are in the big city, but most of us that live upstate get our water from private wells. What are you going to do to protect our water from the effects of hydro-fracking?
I'm Katherine Wagner, and what I would like to ask Andrew Cuomo is, for those of us who are depend on our water as sources of individual wells, what will you do to protect our wells? And if they become contaminated from the hydro-fracking, what will you do to make sure that we are given a permanent corrective water supply? Not just bring in a couple tankers, but actually connect us to municipal water supplies when we can no longer use our well water. Thank you.
Well, my name is Bill Sonnenstall, and one of the things I'd like to tell Andrew Cuomo is New York State really does need jobs, but we don't need dirty jobs. And the kind of jobs that we're being offered here are really dangerous jobs for workers in terms of health and safety, and that isn't actually very widely told. We would be better off pursuing a very vigorous policy of alternative energy, such as solar and wind energy, that we could actually promote here in New York State. There's a lot of good alternatives, and those would actually create more jobs. So I would like to ask Andrew Cuomo to step up to the plate and pass some legislation that would get us some good alternative energy and good jobs in New York State.
I'd like to know how you're going to protect us from toxic air. And I am very concerned about water pollution, but I'm also extremely concerned about the volatiles in the air.
My name is Greg of Worcester. I live in Ithaca, New York, and I have major concerns about the hydro-fracking, and I'd like to understand some aspects about it, and I'm wondering if there's a OSHA loophole that was orchestrated by Dick Cheney and George Bush during their administration, whereby they could bypass OSHA regulations and release of information on hydrofracking fluids that are being pumped into the ground. And if these fluids are used in an industrial site or being transported or whatnot, does OSHA require a material safety data sheet, which is commonly known as an MSDS? Do the material safety data sheets include the components of these hydrofracking fluids? And do the material safety data sheets, do they exist? To the best of my knowledge, they don't, because there are loopholes afforded to the oil industries, in my best understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'd like to know. And also, I see that Attorney General Cuomo has a statement for cleaning up Albany. And in his cleanup statement, he states he wants to expanded disclosure requirements. Will he also expand disclosure of what is in the hydrofracking fluids that will be put into our watershed? And these fluids that have a potential for causing major problems if they do get into our drinking water. And it's not only drinking, people have to shower in their well water. They also have to wash their clothes. Will contact with fluids that are on your clothes that you wear that have been in contact with these chemicals, will they cause health problems? Will the cost of the health problems and the environmental degradation problems that could arise from hydrofracking, will those costs exceed the short-term cash that the politicians get in terms of their elections, or the short-term cash flow that they think will solve our state's fiscal problems? I'd like to know.
Well, I think that the big oil and gas industry is about to run roughshod all over New York State, as it has done in other parts of the country. And I think that Andrew Cuomo needs to know that what the DEC has done so far is woefully inadequate, and that there are much better alternatives, renewables, clean energy, not fracking our rural landscape and destroying our wells and our land.